Sarah from Losing It For Me 42. Happy St. Patrick's Day 2017. I just wanted to jump on here real quick and share a few things. One is I wanted to thank everybody who commented on my last video about bad Sarah brain. I had made maybe 8 videos trying to, in some way talk about bad Sarah brain, and I felt stupid every time. And I was like, oh, no, this won't work. This won't work. And I'm just because I just couldn't explain it in a way that I didn't feel totally idiotic. Because logically, I know, okay, I don't know. Logically, what's the best way to put it? Logically, I assume it's not true. That, and if you're just seeing this and not having the reference, the fact that I think that people hate me, logically, there's evidence to the contrary, but I can't feel it. I can't know it because I can't feel it in my brain. My brain tells me bad things, and I can't disbelieve the illusion, if that's the the best way to put it. So posting that, I was really nervous and kind of will people think I'm really crazy? And everyone was not everyone, but a lot of people were like, I am the same way. And that has probably changed my life. Because I've had this problem forever, and I've always felt very, very wrong. Just that something was very wrong. And I mean, yes, it's not good brain thinking patterns and stuff like that. But I felt and most people looked at me like, oh, you're fucking crazy when I tell them about it. I don't really share that often. So I'm very, very grateful that I shared, and that people, not that people are also like that, but that they too have, I'm not alone, and they're not alone. That's a good thing. I don't know how to put these things, but that's a good thing, that we're not alone in this, and that I'm not such a freak when it comes to that, because other people suffer from the same thing too, so that was kind of nice. I mean, not that other people are suffering, but you know what I mean! Second is that I did not get the job that I was up for. Now that it's over, I can say this, I'm not upset by that at all. I was excited by opportunities inside of the position, and there was a lot of problem solving, and I'm really good at that, and parts of the job were really exciting, but it would take me away from my current career path, and I would no longer be designing or doing marketing. And though I could help shape other designers and things like that, I honestly feel like it could stunt my career and my growth. I think I could grow in other directions in that position, but I felt like it's more analytic, it's more data, it's more things like that, and that's not my jam. I'm not bad at it, it's just not my jam. I work much more organically. I like, numbers are great to back things up, but I like to think creatively. So I was really hemming and hawing over even if I wanted the position, because I wanted growth and change, but I really didn't want to give up design. And when I found out, I was immediately relieved, and I was like, yeah, I didn't want that. I wanted to grow, and I wanted to change, and I really was excited about a lot that the position had to offer, but that feeling of relief told me that deep down, my hesitancies were a lot stronger than I was trying to let myself believe. So I'm not upset in the least bit. It could actually lead to better opportunities. I had my review at work yesterday. If you follow me on Instagram, you know that. And it went really, really well. Things have been very tense, and there's been a lot of conflict in my office lately, which is a lot of the stress that I've been talking about. And basically, the best way to put it is that I have been running my own program for 4 years, and suddenly, like, it went from, you know, input and site guidance to people really, really getting micromanaging into my position, and that created a lot of tension, a lot of friction. There was a lot of negativity and very little positivity. I don't mind criticism. I mind non-constructive criticism. Criticism for criticism's sake, or criticism without direction. Doesn't work for me. I get very frustrated because I'm like, okay, so you don't like it. What do you want me to do? And there was a lot of that in there. And things happened. Attitudes have changed, and it's just, my review was much more positive looking. Unfortunately, not financially, but we're in a budget crunch, so I wasn't surprised. But it was more positive towards growth, towards change, towards, recognition for the amount of work I do, and honest bluntness, which I appreciate. I appreciate bluntness completely. I don't like people to dance around a subject. Just fucking say it. And I felt like a big, huge NSV for me was I went in there with notes and data, and I stood up for myself, and I defended myself on several things, and I felt like the nice thing was that it wasn't adversarial in the review. It was very positive. It wasn't adversarial, but I could speak up, and I could, address things that I felt they were hinting at negativity, and I was like, actually, this is really positive when you consider all of the other things that are involved. Like, if you're just looking at that, yeah, that's not the greatest. But if you look at everything, you see all of this stuff affects that. And I didn't flush, which I always just a big old red face after meetings like this. I didn't flush. I felt very confident. I felt very in control. I felt very relaxed. I was nervous, definitely nervous, but it was very different. I don't know if it's the weight loss or the fact that I've been able to talk to other people outside of my nucleus organization about things, and having other people recognize my worth, that has really changed how I am. The confidence, the, feeling self-worth, and, I don't know necessarily that that's a weight loss thing. I mean, maybe it's part of, like, being more comfortable in my own skin, being, dressing very nicely, and, things like that give me a lot more confidence. So that was a big, huge NSV personally for me, was that I could have this conversation, and at the end, I felt intellectual. I felt, had I talked to myself, I would have been fucking impressed. And I'm my biggest critic, so that says something. And I've gotten that now a few times after having conversations. I'm like, look at you go. Look at you go. You are strong and confident, and you know what you're talking about. Part of bad brain, Sarah, is that I had a learning disability when I was young, and I had a lot of trouble reading and writing, which made me feel dumb, and everyone treated me like I was dumb. The problem is I'm not dumb. I just have issues reading and writing. Not dumb. can hold very intellectual conversations. Can't write them down for the love of God, but I can have very intellectual conversations. So being raised believing, and like even my asshole father, God rest his soul, like would make me feel dumb and treat me like I was dumb. Like there was something really mentally wrong with me. And I'm like, no, I'm actually like, my comprehension's through the roof. I just can't grasp language. I've always had a problem grasping language. I took, oh my God, like 15 years of Spanish through high school, and then I had to take it in college again. And I can tell you, I can barely I can speak like 2 sentences. Because even after all of that time, like, I don't have a comprehension of grammar and language. I can't do that. My brain doesn't make those connections. And so, you know, because of that, I've really had this thing in my head that I'm dumb. I'm not very smart. It wasn't until my 20s that I started hanging out with like Ivy League college kids and holding conversations with them that I started to realize, like, I'm not dumb. And I started to look at the people that I had surrounded myself with, and they weren't on the same level as I was. I had, you know, I wasn't having intellectual conversations. I mean, we had plenty of lovely emotional conversations, and, you know, I was always the voice of reason, and you know, I was always, you know, kind of the one they would go to for things, but like, sorry guys, my feet are fucking freezing. It's 26 degrees, but it's still fucking cold. So I had to turn on a heater, I apologize. But, yeah, so not dumb. And then, wake up this morning and I get the best surprise ever! Ready? The scale said 2, 60, 9. Can you see that? My thumb doesn't go in very much. 9.6. So do you know what that means? A, I've hit a new decade, and B, I am past my lowest adult weight. This is officially my new lowest adult weight. And everything to come will be my newest, lowest adult weight. Ooh! Ah! Very excited. And even though I might bounce back up, I don't fucking care, because this is now my lowest adult weight. So, yeah, that happened. That's been really great. I'm very excited. I'm over the moon. I was feeling a lot of, like, anxiety over the last couple of, like, actually probably the last month. Between work and getting closer to, like, when I got into the 270s, 270, was the lowest adult weight I ever had. And when I got into the 270s, I started to kind of like freak out a bit and going like, oh God, what's gonna happen? And now that I'm like past it, I might go back up. But I completely understand I might go back up. I tend to flux, but I'm just saying, now that I have passed it, past that number, I don't feel as nervous or scared or, you know, anxious over it. It's like, I don't know what's to come. My next goal is 264. And you're like, Sarah, that's not that far away. And I go, I don't care. I like to set little goals for myself. Like, I went from, I think, 300 to 270. I think my last goal was 300, then it was 270. Now it's 264, which is a lot smaller jump, but that will put me in obese class 2. So I will move down into obese class 2. So I'm very excited about that. just also happens to be my 125-pound loss. I believe that's true. Somewhere around there. But I will have a loss of 125, and then I can unlock another lock on my Instagram page. I'm a dork, I know. I also, because, you know, it was a nice little milestone, I put on a t-shirt that I bought as a gold shirt. It's a 2X, but it's a 2X women. And it was pretty small. I've tried it on a bunch of times, and it was never flattering, and this morning I put it on, and it was okay. Like, it was tight, but it was definitely making a lot of nice progress. So that was really nice. Yeah, so I'm very excited and happy. Not disappointed at all about the job. Not in the least bit. I spoke a lot to Lost and Found, and because she kind of went through a very similar situation where she was up for a job that she was like, this is great, and then afterwards it was like, yeah, I don't really think I wanted to make those changes, and I felt very similar, and I was very conflicted about the whole situation, because you're going through a change. You're putting yourself in a top priority, and to change, to make that large of a change in jobs can detract from that. Even Nisi from New Nisi, like, had the same thing. She was talking about dating, and it was like, this right now, you are your priority. You're doing this for you. You're finally making yourself a priority. And I kind of feel like that's exactly how I feel. Is like, this position would have had me on the road a lot. I would have been traveling a great deal. I might not have been in control of my food. I might not have been in control of whether there's a gym. Like, it could have done a lot of things to, and I would have wanted to put my career ahead of my personal life so that I could succeed at a new position. And I don't know if, with all of those other changes, whether or not that's something that would have been beneficial for me. So I'm not upset. There is still a possibility of a new position, but I think if I want that, if it's offered, or if I want it, which I don't know, I think it would be a lot less of a dramatic change. But, yeah, overall, I am very happy. So I wanted to share with you guys. Thank you all. Thank you so much for letting me know that I am not alone in the bad Sarah brain. It helps. It really does, because I just remind myself when I feel it, when I have a situation where I'm like, oh, they're not texting back, they hate me. Like, that it's bad Sarah brain, and that even if it's not bad Sarah brain, it's okay. And, like, if it is bad Sarah brain, it's perfectly fine. Like, you're not alone in this. You're not worse because of it, So, yeah. Okay, guys. Bye.